I love Inside Out. It gives us a great way of understanding our emotions and why we think, act and feel the way that we do. With Inside Out 2 coming out and it concentrating on puberty, I wanted to get a picture about how Pixar is going to demonstrate those new emotions and which emotions they've chosen. So why don't we get on with it? Let's watch the trailer together.
This is Joy, coming to you live in Riley's mind. Make some noise! Sadness is in the house!
All the old guys are back. You know, the core emotions are there, just trying to help Riley to make the best decisions for her. And at 13 years old, she's relating to the world in the same way, which is playing sport, making friends, having the same life she wants. However, when it comes to puberty, everything starts to change in our brain. We have different sense of importance, different things we feel that we need. We feel out of control because those core emotions are starting to change. It doesn't become as simplistic as being happy, sad, and angry. It's interesting looking at the way the brain starts to adapt and change. As we grow older, our amygdala starts to become more active, putting new emotions into our head, and we're feeling it not just in our brain but also throughout our body. Looking at the way that these emotions are starting to come in, we're starting to get a picture about Riley becoming a young adult.
I'm anxiety. Where can I put my stuff?
A new emotion!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's first look at anxiety. Well kept, but a little bit rough around the edges. You can see the colour of orange. It's not red raw like anger, but just a little bit hot. Just trying its best to get you motivated to do something, but you're not really sure what the next step is. And that's the thing about anxiety, is that it's there trying to help, but it doesn't know how to do it. It's not really sure how best to stand, to be. And I think that's a really good way of understanding how we all feel when we're anxious, which is we're trying to keep it together, but we're not really sure if it's going to work.
I'm envy! Oh, look at your hair. Oh yeah, not happening.
You know, and envy's the next one, because you can see with envy that it's not just about being envious and angry because you want something someone doesn't have. You're starting to look around you and go, oh, there's other parts of other people I'm starting to relate to. I'm empathizing, looking at other people and going, I want a bit of that in my life. I want that hair. I want that boy. I want that girl. I want what other people have. It's not a bad thing. It's just starting to see the world in a different way, a way in which we don't feel good enough right now, so we're going to build something that we want. Not that I need to take it away from that person, which is the way that envy usually is seen as almost an angry, dismissive, envious is seen as a bad thing. But I like the way that Inside Out 2 and Pixar has demonstrated envy as something which is just, again, starry-eyed, just like the picture of just looking and going, oh, look at the world. I would say, rather than envy, wonder.
That's ennui.
On what?
It's what you would call the boredom.
Ennui. That's not something that we've learned about, but it gives you an understanding of that sense of boredom or frustration, of just tiredness that we feel when we're an adolescent, because we feel out of sorts. We're not really sure what we want and how to get it. But I don't think ennui is just an emotional connection to us going through puberty. I think that ennui gives us a representation of how we're starting to change physically too. We're getting, longer, taller. We're starting to change and look different, and therefore we get tired, we get morose, we get sad because our bodies are going through so much. And as a result, it's a good way of us seeing how we relate to ourselves and the world throughout puberty.
What's your name, big fella?
That's embarrassment. Welcome to headquarters, embarrassment. Oh, we're doing a fit. No. Oh, nope, going high. Oh, you got a real sweaty palm there, buddy.
Embarrassment. Oh, look at that. Embarrassment is just trying its best to shrink away because it doesn't know how to be, who to be, what its place is in the world. When they said, oh, give me a high five, and it just was hiding because it didn't feel that it was in the right place at the right time. When we're going through puberty, we feel so big, we feel so overwhelmed with the way that we look, we're growing physically and emotionally, we just want to hide away. The way that the hood is so fixed to embarrassment's head. And look, if you're big, you're big, right? If you're you, you're you. No matter how tight you put your hood, you're not going to shrink. But it's a great way of understanding how we're trying to contain all of these emotions, trying to contain ourselves so that we're not judged and seen, and so we can figure things out.
You want to sit with us?
These girls are so cool.
We can't let her know we're excited.
I got this.
Joy, I'm just curious, maybe, I could
Thank you.
help?
Not now.
Yeah.
That's not gonna haunt us for the rest of our lives at all.
And that is why it's so important to update our emotions, because in terms of Joy is being just happy. He's going, yeah, I can relate to people just like I always have. Whereas anxiety is there saying, no, we need to play this a little bit differently. We need to update who we are so that I'm seen as authentically myself. And Riley there just related to these cool kids as the way that she would have done when she was 8 years old, in a really authentic way, and a very caring, loving way, but too childish. That's not the way that she should be relating to people in her adult life. And therefore, anxiety is coming in saying, no, this isn't right. I need control here. I need to start to shift the way that we see the world. And look, and this is a really important point, because anxiety is seen as something we need to get away from. We need to stop feeling. However, anxiety does have its place, because it's just testing us, saying, is this right? Is it not right? And not dealing with stuff in an authentic, wholesome way, which relates to your ethics and values, means that you're going to be anxious, because you won't know if you're doing it right or not. Anxiety is a great tool if we can start to understand its place in our life.
Riley's life requires more sophisticated emotions than all of you.
You can't just bottle us up.
We are suppressed emotions!
That's something which is the consequence of these new feelings coming in, that we start to suppress these emotions. And when we're teenagers, it sort of makes sense to do that in a way, because we're starting to update our emotions and what makes us happy, what makes us sad. But if we're suppressing those emotions throughout our lives, it means that we never get to grow and to understand that all the emotions are important to us. It reminds me of when Joy was with Bing Bong in the first Inside Out. When they were in that devoid space where they couldn't feel any emotions, you saw just how Riley was starting to relate to the world without that sense of purpose and happiness and just general motivation to do anything. Therefore, it's important to touch base on all the emotions, and suppressing any emotion is never a good thing. However, when we're teenagers, you can see how those emotions need updating, and therefore they become irrelevant, which is why so many of us push them down. It's really interesting looking at how all these emotions play in together. We first have envy going, I want something someone else has. And that doesn't mean we have to take it away from them, but how are we able to be friends with them, to grow, to develop into the person that we want to be. Then we have anxiety going, well, let's go out and get that thing, but I don't know how to get it. What am I going to do? I'm going to try my best to look as self-assured and as confident as possible, but I'm not really sure what the rules are here. What am I able to do about it? Then we have embarrassment, going, well, I didn't know what to do now. I don't know what it is that the next steps are, so therefore I'm going to just shrink into the background, hoping that no one sees me. And this is where ennui comes in, going, well, I don't know what to do now, so you know what, I'm just going to detach. I'm just going to sit back, go to sleep, because there's nothing more I can do now. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. Thank you, Pixar, for giving us a new way to understand how we're all developing our emotions. Hopefully it's going to impact some people's lives. And if you've got any questions about yourself or your children going through this state of change, why don't you let me know? Ask me a question. I can answer them in the comments, or I'll do a video about it in the future. Also, anything else you want me to relate to, please do send me a message, and I'm going to do a new react video to that very soon. Look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.